Sweet Science Brothers, it's your boy Av, and I'm back with some more boxing. It's been a long time, guys. I've been renovating my house, and I've been sick as a dog for the last like 3 weeks. But I had to come here, despite the fact that you could hear it in my voice. I had to come here and drop this gem on you, brothers. So sorry for not being around, but hopefully when all this construction work is done, and things are more settled down in my life, this channel is going to explode, and I'm going to be making videos at least 2 times a week. But in the meantime, this is my situation. So I'm here, and I'm going to drop this gem on you despite the fact that I'm really ill. We're going to talk about Sergey Kovalev versus Andre Ward. It's that time. This fight is approaching, and everybody who is subscribed to the channel know how we feel about Sergey Kovalev. This is a Sergey channel. You know what I'm saying? Sergey, Triple G, Luis Ortiz, Terrence Crawford, anybody who's knocking guys out and beating the hell out of them. This is their channel right here. It is what it is. So Sergey Kovalev versus Andre Ward. Now, everybody on the channel knows I'm a little biased when it comes to Andre Ward, and my brother Girth is a huge Ward fan, so we balance each other out. But I'm going to put my bias in my pocket here, and we're going to really talk about craft and get serious. In our last prediction video, when we were talking about Andre Ward versus Sullivan Barrera, my brother said that Andre Ward would dominate Sullivan Barrera, would be a 10-2 straight domination. That's exactly how it was. And I knew it was going to be like that as well. I just wanted to spite my brother and talk a little shit about Ward, So I said what I said there. But I'm aware that Andre Ward is one of the best fighters in this era. I'm aware that he's incredibly skilled. His craft is top-notch. And I'm going to be more, now it's just me alone, so I'm being more serious about this prediction and more serious about how I feel about Ward and Sergey Kovalev and the whole thing. So now that we got that out of the way, okay, first let's talk about craft here. Let's talk about Andre Ward. We're going to start talking about Ward first. Andre Ward has, he has like a unique hybrid style, okay? Andre Ward, a lot of people don't realize this, but he's actually a southpaw. He's left-handed, and he fights with his power side forward. So Andre Ward fights with his power side forward, and if you study his style and if you pay attention, on the outside to mid-range, Andre Ward focuses, he changes levels, and he does a lot of thrusting. And if you're not familiar with boxing, what thrusting is when you fight in a boxing style, the style of, scoring points and moving and countering and sidestepping. And so when you're fighting in that style, there's a technique called thrusting. Thrusting is essentially taking a huge, it's almost like a leaping step forward in conjunction with a strike. Thrusting is usually done with a left hook or a straight jab, but it can be done with a straight right hand. It can be done with whatever punch a boxer chooses, but people typically thrust with power jabs and left hooks, or if you're a southpaw, with the right hand. Either way, thrusting is usually done with the lead hand, and Andre Ward has one of the best thrusts in the game. Thrusting is an essential, right? Because what's the difference between stepping and throwing a jab and thrusting with a jab? Well, thrusting is like taking 2 to 3 steps in one move. It's like it's like a long range strike, and a lot of high level boxers. One of the things that makes you a high level boxer is your ability to thrust. You basically a real boxer, and we're talking now like Andre Ward type guys. Like a real boxer. One thing that makes them a boxer is the fact that they typically have, if you look at boxing and different styles and you put it down as like a strategy, or like if you look at it like a video game, a real boxer has a lot more range. Let's say we were playing chess, right? You know how that first move that you can make with the pawn, it goes 2 squares instead of 1? You can do 2 squares with that first move. Well, basically, that's what a thrust is. It's like doubling the range of a typical stepping punch, you know? So Andre Ward is one of the best in the game at thrusting. Floyd Mayweather also has an amazing thrust. Basically, they'll be at a range where a typical fighter can't hit you. But a master boxer, they can actually hit you from twice the range of a normal fighter. So they can stand at you at a certain distance where you can't hit them, but they can thrust at you and hit you. And that's what makes a master boxer a master boxer, because they have a much longer range. You can't just gauge a master boxer's range by his arm length, because master boxers have the capacity of doing very long range thrusts, and that's what Andre Ward can do. So Andre Ward has one of the best thrusts in the game, and he's a southpaw who fights with his power hand forward. And this is why I say he has a hybrid style. See, because fighting with your power side forward is like the Puerto Rican / Cuban school of boxing. And it's kind of how Andre Ward fights. He fights with that power side forward, and he does all these thrusts like power jabs to the head and to the body, and then he throws left hooks, and sometimes he'll double left hook. He'll go to the body, to the head, or he'll just do two to the head. One will be like a scraping left hook to just get your guard up, and then he'll give a left hook to the body. Or he'll do like a quick left hook to the body so your guard can lower. And the left hook is just quick and scraping. Like, he doesn't mean to throw it to the body. He's just doing that to bring your guard down. And then he comes up top with the real left hook. And then Andre Ward will kind of he'll just change levels, but he'll thrust on you with these power jabs that will go high or low. And he does that same thing with power left hooks as well. And he'll throw a right hand in the mix, and he'll throw other punches in the mix, but they're just to confuse you. His strategy is to stay at a distance and thrust on you, step away, thrust on you, or he'll thrust on you, clinch, hold, turn you, left hook you on turn, and then come back outside and do some more thrusting. That's basically how Andre Ward likes to operate from the outside, right? And how does Andre Ward, he doesn't have a right hand, Andre Ward. He never had a good right hand. And the way Andre Ward neutralizes people from countering him back, because think about this, he only has a left hand. So if he was to thrust on you, and let's say you block that thrust or you get hit with it, but you're still okay, you'd be in position to counter Andre Ward effectively. But Andre Ward nullifies that and protects himself by clinching, holding, with his top-notch, excellent defense, his ability to smother you. Andre Ward has an excellent smother as well, second only to Floyd Mayweather. He might even have a better one than Floyd's. I don't know, because Floyd has some more tools and reflexive skills and speed, more than Andre Ward. So the fact that Andre Ward can still do what he does means that maybe his inside game it's very good. So anyway, I call it a hybrid style because from the outside he's fighting in that Cuban Lara type style, right, with the thrusts. But on the inside, he has that American Bernard Hopkins, Floyd Mayweather type style where he utilizes shoulder rolls, smothers you on the inside, and then has the ability to do what is referred to as it's like sticky defense, meaning he'll clinch you, hold you, quickly hold you, and then release and strike, and hold, release and strike, and then hold, turn, release and strike. So he's basically it's very similar to what Bernard Hopkins does. Floyd does it too, but Bernard Hopkins and Andre Ward do it a lot more because Floyd is more athletic than these two guys. Floyd can get out of range and strike you again, and I mean Floyd is very masterful in that he could stand right in front of you, make you miss, make you pay, and then just step out of danger. Andre Ward's not as good as Floyd in that regard. He can't always step out of danger. What he will do is step into the danger. And then from inside, he'll rough you up with the sticky defense, the clinching, he'll hit you, and then with the same hand, hold you for a quick second, and then turn and hit you again. So Andre Ward's very good at doing those type of things, and it's been very effective for him in his career. And one of the things that I've said before in the past A lot of people don't realize. So Andre Ward, he was a light heavyweight. He got his Olympic gold medal in the light heavyweight division, and he actually went down in weight to go to 168 in the pros. And that gave him a very big size and power advantage over a lot of his opponents. Now, Ward is not a knockout puncher, never will be, but he has a power advantage. If you look at his fights at 168, he would bully a lot of those guys. You know, grab them when he wants to grab them, turn them when he wants to turn them, rough them up on the inside, push off whenever he wants to push off. You know, if he didn't like being in a particular position, he had the power to just bulldoze the person into the position that he wants them to be in. So Andre Ward had this type of size advantage at 168. At 175, he no longer has the same type of strength and size advantage, but he's still incredibly strong, and he's a big light heavyweight as well. And if you watch the fight with Sullivan Barrera, which really shocked me. I mean, I knew he was going to beat Sullivan Barrera's ass, you know, but I knew he was going to win on points. I shouldn't say beat his ass. He did not beat his ass at all, but I knew he was going to win on points. My brother was accurate in the prediction, but I didn't expect him to be able to push Sullivan Barrera around. You know, when Andre Ward didn't like the position he was in, he actually pushed Sullivan Barrera around a couple of times and manipulated Sullivan Barrera into the position he wanted him to be in a couple of times. And I didn't expect that from Andre Ward. So his size and strength is still there even in this division. Although I would have liked to seen how he would have done against another top light heavyweight rather than fighting, you know, that bum Alexander Brand, who's not even a light heavyweight and is garbage at 168. It is what it is. But I've broken down Andre Ward's style for you guys. It's a hybrid style. It's a mix of like Lara and Hopkins. He does like what both of them do. He mixes them up. That's kind of how his style works. Now, Andre Ward has a lot of weaknesses, but he doesn't allow you to exploit them by clinching, holding, turning you, choosing when and where, choosing the range. But he does have weaknesses. One of the biggest weaknesses Andre Ward has is he has no right hand to speak of at all. His right hand is extremely weak. It's not even there really. So he has no right hand. Also, you know, no one really feints Andre Ward much. You know, there's a lot of things Andre Ward hasn't. He's going to be facing a lot in Sergey Kovalev. And Andre Ward's been able to just kind of do whatever he wants to do for the most part in his career. And it's worked out well for him because, like I said, a style that mixes what Erislandy Lara does and what Bernard Hopkins does effectively is an incredibly dangerous style, and that's what Andre Ward possesses. So that's Andre Ward's style. And now I'm going to just talk about Sergey Kovalev's style, and then we're going to talk about how I see this fight playing out. So Sergey Kovalev, first and foremost, I consider him the best fighter in the world right now. You can also say Chocolatito is the number one pound for pound because of all the achievements he's had, more than Sergey and more than any of the other top guys right now. But I think if you were to ask me, you could say it's a tie between the two. Because I just think Sergey Kovalev is the truth. And now let's talk about Sergey Kovalev's style. Sergey Kovalev, first and foremost, he has the best ability to control the range that I've seen in an incredibly long time. I can't remember the last time I've seen a guy being able to control the range the way he does. Sergey Kovalev is very, very rarely ever in a position that he doesn't like to be in the ring. I want you to, even if you don't like Sergey Kovalev, you have to admit that he's never really at a range that is disadvantageous to him. He's always in control of the range. He has power in both hands, left and right, and we're talking tremendous power here. I mean, he's knocking guys out with arm punches. You know, when you see Sergey Kovalev punch, he's not like using his whole body when he's throwing the punch. You know, most of the time he stays in perfect position and throws like a straight right hand or a straight left hand. You know, and he's not really like twisting his whole body, putting everything into it. He's just throwing it, and a lot of the times he's throwing it from a pretty safe position, which is why fighting him is such a scary proposition. So Sergey Kovalev, you know, he has this tremendous power in both hands. He has a top-notch jab, one of the best straight rights in the game. Body shots that are miserable to his opponents. Like he has disgusting body shots, and the fact that he can just, like I said, sometimes you clinch Sergey Kovalev, you try to clinch him, and then he just throws like a little shot to your ribs, right? And it don't look like nothing because this guy is such an animal. He has the ability to generate such tremendous power from like just regular arm punches. So sometimes he'll just hook off on you, hook off on your ribs when you're clinching him, and he doesn't even need to twist his body or dip and like use his legs to generate any power. He just throws a little arm punch, and you see this like wincing on the face of his opponents where it's like he hurts them really bad with these little shots on the inside. And there's a reason why people really don't clinch Kovalev much, because he hits you with these weird little body shots in there that, I'm telling you, he'll fracture your ribs in the first round, and you gotta fight him the rest of the fight with that. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing I like about Sergey Kovalev is the fact that the majority of his punches he throws are very safe, so it's difficult to counter him. He'll throw, you know, like straight right hands to the body and to the head, straight jabs to the head and body. You know, he'll only throw hooks when he's in like a really good range to throw it. You never see him winging off some dumbass hooks and missing from a mile away. He just doesn't do that. So he's very technically sound in that regard. His defense is on point. You rarely see Sergey Kovalev getting hit with stupid shots. Yes, he does get hit because he is an offensive fighter, but he doesn't get hit much. When you look at other offensive fighters and how much they get hit, his defense is a lot more on point. And when he does get hit, a lot of times he rolls with the punches as well. And he's in position to counter you back with something. But one of my favorite things about Sergey Kovalev, and it's going to be a big factor in this fight, is Sergey Kovalev's feinting. He has masterful feinting. He's always throwing feints. He's always changing levels. And when you have a guy who has such tremendous power as Sergey Kovalev has, you can't afford to ignore his feints because they can be a real punch. He has too much power. So when you combine his feinting with his punching power, it makes his feinting so much more effective. Because, you can't afford to ignore him. So when you're fighting a guy who does a lot of feinting, you could be like, oh, he's feinting. You don't have to take every feint he throws seriously because you know he's constantly feinting on you. But when a guy has so much power like Sergey Kovalev, it forces you to have to respect all of his feints. And because you have to respect his feinting, he's going to start hitting you. He's going to start tricking you. He's going to start putting you in bad positions. And the feinting is going to be very effective against Andre Ward because Andre Ward has such a hyperactive defense. If you look at, for example, if you look at Floyd Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana, for example, Marcos Maidana, we're talking about the first fight. Marcos Maidana was very successful on Floyd for the first half of the fight, and a lot of people think it's just because he was so active. No. Maidana was showing a lot of craft. He was doubling the jab, he was feinting, and he was changing levels on Floyd. There's actually a whole video by Lee Wiley on Maidana and how he mastered the jab and how he used the jab to give Floyd so much trouble in the first fight. And the reason why it gave Floyd so much trouble is because Floyd has such a hyperactive defense that when you change levels, when you feint on Floyd, his defense is so turned on that he has to react to it. And it forces Floyd to like back up when he shouldn't back up, when he doesn't need to, or react, do a shoulder roll, or just get in his shell real quick. And that was what was allowing Maidana to put all that pressure on Floyd. It was what was allowing Maidana to put Floyd up against the ropes in the first place. Now we know Floyd likes to go to the ropes on intentionally a lot of the times, but in the fight with Maidana, the first fight, it wasn't intentional. A lot of times, all those feints were just having him. His defense was so hyperactive that he would just end up in the corner when he didn't specifically plan to be there. So, like Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward has a very hyperactive defense. And those feints are going to trouble Ward. He's going to react to them. He's going to react to those feints, and it's going to keep Andre Ward from implementing everything he wants to implement. Now, another thing I like about Sergey Kovalev is his relentlessness and his ability to just be like this methodic machine. Sergey Kovalev, he'll hurt you, but he won't break from his mold. You know what I'm saying? He'll stalk you very methodically and just keep putting that beating on you. But he won't. You know how some fighters, even one of my favorite fighters, Gennady Golovkin's guilty of this. When he sees blood, he goes into that frenzy mode and starts wanting to knock you out and starts getting a bit sloppy, missing hooks coming at you. Well, Sergey Kovalev doesn't really do that. I mean, he's done it once or twice, but typically he doesn't. He comes after you. He goes for the kill, but he does it in a very systemic way. He's still defensively responsible, is what I'm saying. That's what makes him very dangerous. Like, he'll hurt you, and then he'll just keep on poking you with those straights to the body and straights to the head, and he'll keep coming at you, but he'll do it like a cold-blooded machine. He won't get like overly excited and start making big mistakes. Kovalev, honestly, the only mistake I see him make from time to time is sometimes he'll overstep with his right leg and get off balance, but it's very rare. He'll do it once or twice in a fight, Sometimes he'll get his feet tangled up, but other than that, he stays in hitting position, and he stays in that. He keeps you in that danger position where he could hit you the whole time, which is why I think he's going to nullify. Let's go to Sergey Kovalev versus Andre Ward and how I feel this fight's going to play out. First and foremost, I got Sergey Kovalev winning this fight by unanimous decision with multiple knockdowns, or possibly like a late round stoppage, or maybe even a split decision. But I got Sergey winning by decision, and I got Sergey Kovalev outboxing Andre Ward. I know this is going to sound insane to a lot of you guys, but I got Sergey Kovalev outboxing Andre Ward round for round. Andre Ward's going to win. It's going to be like 8-4. If it goes the distance, it's going to be like 8-4 Sergey Kovalev, but it might even be. I'm thinking it's going to be like 8-4, 7-5 Sergey Kovalev, and if Andre Ward, and that's if Andre Ward wants to survive. If Andre Ward really wants to win this fight, and he presses the issue, he's getting knocked out. He's getting stopped. So I just want to say what I think right away, and now I'm going to tell you why I think that. So. The reason why I have this prediction is simple. It's because, like I described to you, Andre Ward's style. Sergey Kovalev, let's talk about Andre Ward's outside game with the thrusting that I described to you guys earlier, right? Sergey Kovalev has the ability to keep you at a distance where he can hit you, and he will maintain that distance at all times. And when he's not at that distance, when he's too far or too close, he readjusts. So it's going to be really difficult to maintain a constant thrust on Sergey Kovalev. It's going to be really difficult. And I feel like Sergey Kovalev's control of the range is going to give Andre Ward trouble. He'll be able to thrust on Sergey Kovalev, but Kovalev's going to keep him at a range where thrusting on him is going to be dangerous. He's going to basically, when he thrusts on him, Sergey Kovalev's going to step back. He might get hit with the thrust, but he's going to hit Andre Ward back. He's going to keep the range in such a way, okay, because Bernard Hopkins has that style too, where he'll thrust in with a big right hand and then clinch you. And Andre is going to be looking to do the same type of stuff, but he wasn't able to. Bernard Hopkins wasn't able to do thrusting on Sergey Kovalev because Sergey Kovalev, like Joe Calzaghe, took a little step back when Andre Ward would do that thrust. So Sergey Kovalev's going to do the same thing. He's going to take a step back. And what this is going to do is, it's not going to nullify the thrust. Andre Ward will land these thrusts. But that little step back is not going to allow, that clinch that comes after the thrust. Sergey's not going to allow that to happen. So he's going to get hit, but he's going to hit him back. Okay? And it's not going to be pretty for Andre Ward. These exchanges are not going to be pretty. They're going to keep Ward in a dangerous position. And that's not what Ward wants, obviously. And so I feel that Sergey Kovalev's control of the range is going to nullify a lot of Andre Ward's thrusting. And on the inside, I just don't see Andre Ward, clinching and turning and pot-shotting Sergey and doing all the stuff that he thinks he's going to do. I don't see him doing any of that. Can you show me any tape, any video of anybody clinching Sergey Kovalev? You can't. You're not going to find it. No one's done it. Has he fought anybody like Andre Ward? Yes, he fought Bernard Hopkins. You could throw the whole, Hopkins is old and try to discredit the win as much as you want to. But at the end of the day, no one really clinches Sergey, and there's a reason for that, and I'm going to explain that reason. A lot of people don't know, but Sergey Kovalev is, trained in Sambo, Russian Sambo, and Judo. If you watch Sergey Kovalev, and if you watch that HBO documentary that they had with Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev's boxing coach said that Sergey Kovalev left the boxing gym and pursued other fighting styles, and then he came back to boxing. Okay, they made mention of that, and John David Jackson also says multiple interviews he said that Sergey Kovalev trains grappling, and that John David Jackson doesn't agree with it, but it keeps Sergey Kovalev in shape and he doesn't stop him. So, with that being said, Sergey Kovalev is a dangerous grappler. He's trained. And if you watch the Chilemba fight specifically, and if you watch, even watch the Pascal fight, you'll see, they couldn't do nothing on the clinch with this guy. Watch the Chilemba fight, because Chilemba actually tried to clinch several times and it didn't work for him. Sergey Kovalev nullifies the clinch. He's a grappler. So I don't think the inside game is going to be effective. And I think the outside game is going to be, Andre Ward has an advantage when it comes to thrusting. The first shot, Andre Ward has an advantage. But then after that, I think Sergey Kovalev, his control of distance. And lastly, and most importantly, the game plan that Sergey Kovalev and his team have for Andre Ward is so flawless. The only thing I didn't agree with is that John David Jackson has he released a game plan. He said that what they're going to do. And I never agree with doing that. But I knew that they were going to do that too, because that's what I would have Sergey doing. Basically, they're going to be targeting Andre Ward's left shoulder with power jabs and power right hands and power hooks. And they're going to destroy Andre Ward's shoulder and body. And they're going to hit his head too, of course, but they're going to focus on his shoulder, and his shoulder is right there to get hit. And the type of power Sergey Kovalev has, I just think they're going to break Andre Ward down. I mean, that's what John David Jackson said the plan was. They were going to break Andre Ward down, smash on his shoulder, smash on his chest, smash on his body, and just break him down, and ultimately stop him. Or beat him on a decision. I say decision. I want to say Sergey Kovalev by stoppage, but I go with the decision because I feel that Andre Ward, like Bernard Hopkins, will know. After a couple of rounds, they're going to know who they're dealing with. And, I think Andre Ward has the skills to prevent himself from getting knocked out. So, that's my prediction. That's my thoughts on this fight. Let me know how you guys think. I know this video was long, but it had to be long. You know, it's a great breakdown. I could have just spoke about the breakdown in itself and not really broken down their styles, but I needed to do that. It's your boy Av, Sweet Science Brothers. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share the videos. Share the love.